All right, we've finally been put out of our misery with the last session of Parliament closing off this week. It's usually a time when the hours are long and tempers can become a little bit frayed. And that certainly seems to be the case with the government, as I've just described. They have had a shocker of a year. Their policy positions, their policy execution, their affinity or lack of it with the Australian people, they've all been appalling. And it's left the coalition in a much stronger position than when the year began. And personally, I'd like to think a lot of that resurgence was built around the success of the No campaign and the fact that Peter Dutton and the National Party campaigned so strongly for that result. But there are other areas where they're leading too. In Queensland, LNP Senator Gerard Rennick joins me now to talk about some of them. Senator, great to have you on the show. I've got to kick it off with this though. It's been a busy day in Queensland politics. Anastasia Palaszczuk is set to resign as Premier at the end of the week. Here she is announcing a departure.
Thank you to my cabinet and my staff. Thank you to the Labor Party, to all of our frontline workers, but most of all, thank you to every single Queenslander. Sorry. It's been the greatest on my life, and our best days are well and truly ahead of us.
Gerard, it's been a long time coming. This is good news, isn't it, for Queensland and the LNP up there?
Well, I mean, that depends on the outcomes going forward. Ultimately, all governments should be judged by their ability to produce, essential services and provide essential services to their people. And the question is, will the new leader of the Labor Party be any better than the last leader in making sure that we reduce waiting lists, reduce crime in the state, reduce energy prices in the state, improve our education services? So for me, coming into an election year, and I think for many other Queenslanders, what we want to see is effectively a government that can provide those essential services. And it's fair to say that under the last 9 years of the Labor government, we've seen a decline in the provision of essential services, and it just hasn't been good enough.
Yeah, it's not good enough, and that's why we need a very strong opposition to put forward an alternative government vision. The Coalition have certainly put forward an alternative vision, and most notably in their proposal to lift Australia's nuclear ban. I have to point out they did so well before the climate alarmists at COP28 became pushing for the same thing. But that decision at COP28 makes the position of the Labor government to block the nuclear industry look outdated and out of touch. I reckon the Coalition's on a winner here. How do you feel about it?
Oh, I feel very strongly about it, Corey, and I think we are on a winner. And it's been a long time coming for Australia, to actually have a major party come out and support nuclear unequivocally, and that's what Peter Dutton's done, and that's a credit to him because it's a great way to wedge the left on, and it's their ideology, not our ideology, on the whole climate change ideology and the greenhouse effect. So if they're really serious, if the left are really serious about reducing carbon emissions, there is no better way to do that than nuclear energy. Now, from the point of view of the right, my view is, well, nuclear energy is a very cheap form of energy, and it's used in many other countries. We're one of the few major Western countries that don't have a nuclear power reactor, and I think it's both good for our energy as well as our security.